Hey, soulmates.
Hello,
Welcome to Make It Make Sense.
I'm Gus. This is Keana, and here we are once again talking about something that we all should be talking about, and we're talking about it right now. It is
What are we talking about, Gus?
unconditional love.
Not only that, but sex and the real meaning behind love.
Oh, I didn't know we were going to talk about
Yeah,
sex. We're going
we're
to talk
doing all
about
that. We're
sex.
doing all that.
No.
But before we dive in, soulmates, I just want to say this. We are going to talk about sex. Not so much sexual trauma, but if you have experienced sexual trauma, this may be triggering for you. So please take care of yourself. Do what you need to do. Move yourself in the episode. Come back later. Come back when you're ready. Because healing doesn't happen on anybody's timeline but yours. But when it starts with your truth. And the truth is, we live in a culture that teaches us how to have sex, but it does not teach us how to be intimate. It teaches us how to give access to our bodies without understanding the cost of our spirits. So today, that is what we're unlearning on Make It Make Sense.
All right. I think where to begin? Wow, that's a lot.
I want to ask people this question. Are we using sex to disappear from ourselves? Or are we using sex to numb? Or are we really using it to get closer, to build a bond? Because that's really what sex is about.
Yes, and sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I think we do use sex as like a cover up for our inner feelings.
Mm-hmm. We do. We use it as like a crutch to numb the emotional pain. I don't even think we connect sex with our emotions. We're so disconnected, first of all, from the human body that
right.
All we know is it feels good in the moment, the experience. Hurry up to get to the orgasm. And once you release, now what? If you don't have anything else connected to it other than just the act of the orgasm,
or just the physical act of it, like we've taken away the spiritual connection, we've taken away the emotional connection, and it's just the simple gratification,
right?
Physically.
True. And that's the thing. Sex it's deeper. It's deeper than that. It's not just about what's happening between the sheets. It's about what stays in your soul long after the sex ends. Because sex is more than just that. Because when you're connecting with somebody on a physical level, it doesn't just end with once they leave the bed or once they leave your life or once the sex is over. Because there's energy in the act of sex. So that person's energy is still embedded inside of you. You still have that person's energy within you. You're still absorbing that. And if there's somebody that have not healed, or if they have trauma, or if they have wounds, or other things like that, guess what, soulmates? They inflict that same energy onto you through the act of sex.
And it's unintentional, but still, I don't know if I would say the word inflict, but it's definitely projected. That energy gets projected to you and you are absorbing it. So yeah, I totally agree. It's like you almost have to be careful who you're linking up with.
You should,
because I mean, well, not just,
I would hope so.
Yeah, but not just because of sex, but I mean, even after that, because of the energy exchange, you now are not attracted to that person, but you're what's the word I'm looking for? You are connected to that person in a way,
exactly,
even outside of the physical act of sex.
I know, that's my point.
Like
there's an energetic bond, there's a connection, right. There's an energetic cord that you're starting to create. And as women, we naturally start to develop some type of emotional attachment and a bond once we start to connect with a man physically. I don't care what a woman says. She can have sex like a man, but she's going to get some type of emotion. So much so that she's either going to push back because she's afraid of the emotion that she's feeling. And she doesn't want to have that attachment because she's afraid of what the man is going to say, or she just just wants to only connect physically because she believes that's all that she has to offer. That's all that a man would value. And it's just really interesting how this dynamic, because sex has become like America's favorite pastime, right? That's society's favorite distraction from emotional pain. And we live in a hookup culture. So physical closeness, that's normal. But the emotional connection, no. We prefer physical connection, emotional detachment. And that's pretty much how, for the most part, it's been. And actually, according to the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, 62% of people actually do report feeling regret, shame, or emotional discomfort after casual sex.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And if men are honest, we'll admit that too. There's a certain, there's a certain,
talk about that.
It can happen. A certain feeling of regret, especially if you know that you've just done it with somebody that you know that you don't have any intentions on having a deep connection with. Or if you know that you've been somewhat dishonest in letting that person believe that.
Did you basically you lay them on? So y'all actually have a conscience for that.
Oh yeah, of course. Especially if you know that that person seems to think that you have a greater affection for them than was true, or that woman might be thinking you love them.
That's true. That's true, because we confuse comfort for connection.
Exactly, right.
And that's the issue. Is like we've been taught that passion equals love. That most of us don't even understand truly what love is. That's why I say love is unconditional. Meaning you don't love somebody with condition. We are loving beings. We were created in God's likeness and image with love, and we're always with love. But because of the world that we live in, because we equate passion and sex, and love is seen as a tool, as a way to control or manipulate, it's never been a thing that's been given freely. And because we think that love means romantic only, or we only are in love with our partners, and then when we are no longer with them, we just stop loving them and the love just disappears. I don't believe that.
I don't either.
That's not unconditional love.
Right. I mean, there is a such thing as not being with someone and still loving them, like, for sure. So the whole concept of unconditional love, that's two terms there that I think we need to unpack. Like, love, what does love mean, and what does it mean to be unconditional?
Go ahead.
For me, love is beyond just actions, and it's not just emotion either, but I think it's a combination of the two. It's the emotion that causes you to want to give a person good action. Like, you want to, I was going to say the word perform, but that's a bad choice of words, but it makes you want to provide for a certain person. You want the best things for them. It's an emotion that makes you.
It's an act. It's an action.
Yeah, the emotion that prompts you to the action. That's my personal definition.
I see.
Like, you could act, like, for instance, I could act in a certain way towards a person, but not have the emotion behind it. That means I got some fake action. But if I have the right emotion behind my action, I'm doing it for the right reason, I have the right incentive and the right motive, that's my love towards a person.
Right.
But now, unconditional, what does it mean to do that unconditionally?
And for me, it's you give, you be kind, you show acts of love to all people. It's just that simple. I can love the person on the corner. I don't have to know them. But if they are in need and I give them $1, that's an act of love. Right. Because I love people unconditionally.
It is.
And if I'm in a position to help somebody in need, I will, not at the detriment of myself, but because I love people unconditionally the way God created me, that I'm willing to show that love by helping them in their time of need. That's what unconditional love is for me. It's not about loving somebody based on what they can give, what they have to offer. It's, I love you simply because you are created in God's likeness and image, and let me love you simply because you're my brother and sister. That's it. I know that we live in a world that says that's impossible, but for me, it's not. And I've been through a lot of heartache and pain to get to this point of unconditional love where I can love people freely and help people in need.
That's interesting. You talk about, like, giving someone $1 or something. There's a Bible verse that says, "Let each one give as he purposes in his heart, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loves a cheerful giver."
That's it.
So you just giving $1 is not the act of love. It's your emotion behind it. Are you cheerfully giving that dollar?
I wouldn't be giving it out of pain.
Man, there are some people who do it.
Really?
Yes.
I've never seen that. People give it and they don't want to. I've never seen that. I always see they just won't give it at all. Because I figure if you're giving somebody something and you don't know them, then you're doing it out of the act of love and kindness. I mean, I've never given somebody a complete stranger something that I didn't want to give them.
I haven't either, but I've seen people give with a nasty attitude.
Oh, well, you're
right. Because you giving $1 and then you kind of like you talking bad about
right. And money is an energy exchange. See, that's again, that's love. Love is energy. And that's what I'm saying. If I'm giving money, I'm giving it off good energy.
But that's you, because
right. That's what I'm saying. That's
Keana
me
doing that.
And that's what I'm trying to teach my soulmates is that I can do it. You can embody it too. I'm not the only one that can love unconditionally, but how come we can? How come we are taught? I've had actual Christians tell me that unconditional love is not real. And I find that so funny because
that's disappointing.
No, it is disappointing. It is so disappointing that we keep trying to monetize and put a value and a price on love. When God gave us love for free. It should not cost a thing to love people.
It shouldn't cost you anything. It shouldn't take anything away from you.
It shouldn't. It definitely shouldn't take anything from you. Absolutely, it shouldn't take from you. It's supposed to uplift you, support you, empower you, not drain you and take from you. That's not love. If it's doing that, that is not love.
So unconditional though. For me, unconditional means you're going to do it freely without expectation of anything coming back.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Because God got me. If I'm giving to the man and the homeless person on the street, I know they're not going to give it back to me. I'm not expecting them to give it back to me.
Right. Now, how does that work in a relationship though?
In a relationship, I would do the same thing. I will help people in need. There are exes that, well, not that many exes. My husband know if he needs anything, he can call and I'll support him.
Right.
There are either men that I may have dated in my past that if they need anything, they can reach out. I would support them. If something was to go wrong, if they had a death in the family, I'm here to support you. I've always been that way.
Right.
As long as you didn't burn me and hurt me, I can still support you. I can still forgive you too, but that doesn't mean that I can support you in that space, but I won't stop loving you. But I just have to love you with boundaries. That's all.
Right. What do we really mean by unconditional though? Like if we could just sum it up for the people out
there.
What does
I don't have to fall in love and marry a man because of his money, because of his status, because of how many cars he has. Vice versa. Okay. I don't need a man to fall in love with me because of how I look, because of what I got between my legs, or because what I can give him. That's not what love looks like. And that's not the way I love, and that's not the way that I would show up or will show up with my partner.
Right. And I think the same thing would go for a man too. Like you can't have certain things. I mean,
I said, do you? You said you think it can be the same thing for a man too?
Yeah, it has to be.
I said, do you?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, right. Like you can't have certain things that you can't have a checklist of, if it's not this, and I can't love you.
Right, but we do that.
We do.
That's why we are so confused on what love really is. I've been saying this since the very beginning of this year that we have been taught love in all the wrong ways. The way that we have been taught love has been based on fear, force, and it's like, no, I have to sacrifice me because I love you. I have to please you because I love you at the expense of me.
That is
make it make sense, soulmates.
Because like love and fear, to me, are opposite ends of the same spectrum of emotion.
They are.
Like it's either you love or you fear. But if you got a little bit of fear, if you got fear, then it's not truly love.
So how come then people stay in relationships like that, knowing that it's not healthy, and they stay out of fear? So what is that? What do you define that as?
It's just fear.
So they stay because of the fear.
Right.
Not because They are in love and they think the love can fix it.
We call it love.
Oh.
I think we call it love when we still have that fear and we're just there and you say, but I love her, or but I love him.
Yeah. See, and that's
understand because
that part.
Yeah.
That's not unconditional love.
It's not, because that's a false sense of unconditional love. That's somebody claiming that's unconditional. Right, too. It is. They're going to claim it's unconditional because they're in an abusive relationship and they won't leave, but they feel like they can't leave because they have to stay because of love. Mm-hmm. But the truth is, you can leave and still love.
That's it. And that's what I'm saying. Truth. I can still leave somebody and love them.
Yes.
I will forever love my husband. We will never be back together. But I have nothing but unconditional love for that person, or even the ex. I love you.
Yeah, the ex is.
But we will never be together. Right.
We love them.
Why is that so difficult to understand? And it's not just unconditional love with your children. Like, no, you can love all people unconditional.
Unconditional does not mean stick with the situation that's
toxic. And it doesn't. Because that means you don't love you. So if you're not loving you, then how are you going to love somebody else unconditional?
Right.
That's why I said that we've been taught that we have to give it at the cost of ourselves.
Right.
But that's not how love works.
Yeah. I think too, like for me, this is just my personal belief of what unconditional love is. It's something to where you just don't expect anything in return. You're doing it out of the free will of your own heart. You know, it's not a thing where, well, if they don't do this for me,
that's not
then I won't. Right. It can't be that way.
That's conditional.
That's
societal.
Right. Just like you said, you give someone $1 on the street because you want to. I think the same thing applies in a marriage, a relationship, or anything else. You're going to do certain things just out of your kindness because that's what you want to do for that person. And it has nothing to do with what they may or may not do for you. Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with if they're going to tell you thank you or give you praise or any of that.
Right.
You're going to do it because you want to do it for that person in that moment, just for them, with no promise of return.
And I think when it comes to relationships, though, the issue is that people have expectations on what they think love should look like, but we don't talk about it. Do you address this? Do you set these expectations? I wouldn't have expectations. Yeah. I would have agreements. So let's agree on what we want this to look like, because I'm not going to expect, and I don't want you to expect anything from me. You can ask me to support you or to show you love or give you love in a certain way if I'm not giving it to you that way, but you can't just expect, because that goes back to what I said before, how we have certain conditions and expectations on love. That's the issue with why we keep getting love confused and why we don't know how to love unconditionally, because we think love comes with expectations.
Right. Okay. So now when you said, when you have, what did you say? You said you have a, not an expectation, but agreement. How is an agreement so different from an expectation?
Because we both talked about it and I agree that I will do this for you and you agree that you will do this for me.
Okay.
I didn't just say, I want you to do this. I'm asking you, we're having a conversation. Mm-hmm. We're putting it all out there and I'm asking, this is what I like. Are you able to support me in that? How can I show you my love? What is your love language? How do you like to express? How do you like to receive it?
Now I've done the same.
Those are agreements. Those are not expectations.
I've had this similar type of agreement, but now what happens when the person doesn't meet that agreement anymore?
So then you mentioned it. You have to, if it's going to be an issue, you have to address it, and you should address it early on. Otherwise,
on the spot,
what's going to happen? Resentment. Right. You try to brush it under the rug. Then something else happens. So now this piles up, and eventually it just stacks up and stacks up. Now you're just frustrated, and all of the stuff that has been built, building up, now it just all comes out. So yeah, you do have to address it as soon as it happens. Not attacking, but you have to address it. Nobody wants to feel attacked.
No.
That's why you should have agreements. You should have a plan of, if we are not in alignment, if we fall out of agreement, how do we get back into alignment? How are we going to get back into agreement on the same accord? How do we make sure that we're on the same page?
Right.
Because I'm going to be honest, if I don't feel emotionally connected or deeply bonded with the person, I'm not going to want to have sex. I've been there, done that. I don't want to have sex with anybody that I don't feel deeply bonded and connected with, because it's not fulfilling for me. And I realized that it was just me projecting what I thought this person wanted, me trying to self-soothe what I thought was going to make me feel better. And instead of receiving an emotional connection, it was emotional disconnection even more. And most of us do this. And then we wonder why we don't get married or why we can't find the right partner. Right. It's because we are making these same mistakes over and over again.
Right. I think that sex can be used as like almost like a substitute for real connection.
It is,
in a way that if you don't have a connection, it's a false sense of security to say that, okay, we just had sex, we had some type of connection, we got some type of chemistry, but outside of that, do you really
have chemistry?
Do you really?
Or are you just horny and your hormones are doing all the talking?
Well, not just that. I think psychologically we use sex as like a comfort type of thing. It's like,
yeah, we use it to self-soothe, to cope. We use it for stress. We use it for, we try to even use it if we have low self-esteem. We'll try to use it. Anything to try to build us up as a way to validate ourselves.
Well, I was saying that it actually can make you feel like your relationship is better than what it is.
False.
Yeah, totally false.
That foundation is not. Right. And if that's what the relationship is built on, if that's your foundation.
Without the foundation, right. Because what do you really have outside of that?
That part. And that is why we have to start to get to the basis, to the core of it. In any relationship, it doesn't even have to be romantic. It can be platonic, professional.
Right.
I believe love should be the core of it. I don't mean, oh, I love you, coworker. Like, no. That means I have love and respect for you. Okay. And I choose to lead with love by respecting you, by creating some type of a professional bond. You know what I mean? Not in the sense of, oh, I'm in love with my coworker type of thing. But it's just about having solid foundations in all of your relationships.
I think actually, though, when there's a more solid foundation and the relationship is solid, meaning you have good communication, right. You have good interaction, you have good respect for each other, the sex can be even better.
It is
like better. Because you carry that same energy outside of the sex into the sex. You know what I'm saying? You have the same amount of respect for that person. You have a greater sense of intimacy outside of sex. The sex would be greater.
It is. But I just think, I know for me, growing up in the 90s, a lot of my friends, we just grew up in a time where it was like, we were so curious about like sex that we never really talked about love.
Really?
It was like, the message was, we just knew we wanted to have sex. I never heard anybody that was like, oh, I just want to fall in love. I just never really had a true depiction of realistically what that looked like. Like as a teenager, it was just, oh yeah, we were just sexually curious. Not so much trying to fall in love. Like, what is that? So as an adult, majority of us probably have just had sex on that same foundation of, oh, it's just sex. We don't want the love. The love is not the thing that we want. We would just rather have this body to body type of interaction, but then we don't want the love. Or if we do start to feel that love, we'll resist it. We get too close.
Yeah, I call that a result of conditioning between media and our entertainment. Like we've been conditioned to just be over sexualized.
We have.
It was like, I don't know, like sex was like put way up here on some type of, I don't know.
And as
we had like false.
We did reality. A false sense of reality. We did. Because 90s, it was like, oh my gosh, oral sex was still taboo for a black man. A black man wouldn't dare admit that he had oral sex in the 90s.
Right.
So it was like, women, right, black women like too, right? That's true.
Like for black people, that was like reserved it was a white people thing.
It was, right? But yet, as women, we were groomed to believe that sex was a way to prove our worth and the way that we had to keep our partners.
It's funny though. Remember Girls Gone Wild?
I do. With Snoop Girls Gone Wild, doggy style. I remember.
Right. All the spring break pictures and all that. I think that kind of helped us. Not helped, but it
made it worse.
Yeah, it made it worse. It changed the way we view sex.
That's why 52% of men report using sex to avoid emotional intimacy. Emotional vulnerability in their relationships?
I think that's about right.
Why? Why is it so hard for men to not be emotionally connected with the sex?
Honestly, because I don't think we feel we have to be.
Why is that? Because we don't require you to be?
Correct.
Aha. Come on, queens. We got to admit it. We are the problem. We are also the solution.
I mean, put it in proper perspective. Like, if a man knows that it's a good chance he's going to have sex.
So why?
Like, right. what do you have? And I don't have to put nothing into it.
What's the point? I know.
I mean, so yeah. And I'm not saying that's me or my opinion, but I'm just saying, just put yourself in that situation. If it comes that easy, you didn't have to give any respect to get it.
Wow. Yeah, that's powerful. And that's the root of the problem of why we are like this. Then we want to say society hypersexualizes and we see all this sex on TV, same sex, this and that and the other. This has been going on. Sex is, we live in a hypersexual society.
We do.
Sex is it's like nervous system, soul to soul, wound to wound is what sex is. And when those wounds are unhealed, we end up in trauma-based sexual interactions, wondering why. We end up feeling drained, why we are not happy, when all along your body is like, you did this, I didn't ask for this. Then we've never been taught how to connect with our bodies.
Right.
So we don't even understand when the body is like, this is not it. This doesn't even feel good. Why some men wonder why they can't respond to certain women, or why certain women have the certain reaction that they have with men. Have you ever asked yourself that, Queen? Why you couldn't get wet? Your body was telling you no.
Well, I mean, yeah, that goes back to, I don't know if we said this before on the podcast. We probably said it off camera before, but your body is full of trillions and trillions of individual cells that all think for themselves. They have consciousness on their own. Every part of your body has its own consciousness. True. So if you're misusing a part of your body and it's connected to the rest of your body, you now have a disconnection and a miscommunication with yourself, with your soul, your everything. So there is a good chance in the act of sex, if you're not doing it within the right mind frame, your body will shut down.
It will.
You're not going to be able to perform like you think you want to. You're not going to be wet. You're not going to be hard. You're not going to.
No type of reaction.
You're going to just shut down because you're doing something that your body knows.
That's not right.
Right. Yeah, it's very possible.
It makes sense. Yeah. We actually do have a question for someone that sent in a question. She states, why do I feel so empty after sex, even when I care about the person? Right.
Ooh.
That's powerful. So here's the thing. And I'm not judging you. First, let me just say thank you for asking and being so honest and open. But care is in presence. And love without emotional safety is just not love. It's just really longing. Right. You can care deeply and still have energetic, harmful experience with an individual. Even though you were touched, doesn't mean that you were fully seen. So that's probably why you're feeling empty. So I would invite you to ask yourself, why are you having sex with these individuals? Even though you know you still end up feeling empty inside. What would happen if you didn't have sex? What's the worst thing that could happen? That you won't feel empty? So try to not have sex. Do the opposite of what it is that's making you feel empty and see what happens. And just take it slow, one day at a time.
I would suggest this too. Like, you felt empty after the act of having sex, but the question would be, did you feel gratified? That's the question you should ask yourself. Did you feel gratified, not just physically, but emotionally? Did you feel emotionally safe with that man? Did you feel...
It sounds like the question, that they're not emotionally safe, because the fact that they feel empty afterwards, that tells me that there is no emotional safety. Right. Because when you're emotionally safe, you wouldn't feel empty.
Or there was something that was unfulfilled. There was something she was looking for out of the act of sex. You wanted something from that you really didn't get. you got,
because you're not going to find it in the sex. Because it sounds like what they're looking for is not in the sex.
It's not. It can be. And what I mean by that is sex with the right intention, with the right person, with the right, I keep saying motive. I don't know if that's the right word I'm looking for, but that's what I mean. You'll feel the difference. If you're having sex with somebody that's really, that really loves you,
right,
is different than somebody that just has sex with you.
I know, meaning if you have a real emotional connection.
Right. You're not going to come away from sex with someone who loves you. You're not going to come away empty.
No,
right?
Absolutely
so that's
not.
the question you would ask yourself. Are you even in love with this person? I guess the answer is no.
That goes back to why are we doing it? Why are we having sex?
Yeah, why are you having sex with this person?
No judgment, just a question.
Right.
Somebody else asked the question, can men experience regret after sex too? I think you kind of touched on that though. I find that so interesting because I never thought about that. I never knew that men felt guilty after sex.
Yeah.
Today, years old. I swear I didn't. I never knew. I've never known that.
I'm gonna be honest. I spent like 10 years being guilty, having sex. For 10 years, because for one, sometimes it feels like a waste of time. For me, and this is just, I can't speak for all men, but for me, being a person who does value deep connection in relationship and marriage, for me, having sex with people that I had no intentions of really having something long standing or meaningful with, it was not just a waste of time, but it was a regretful situation for me. Did I enjoy it? Sure.
Did you have sex with them again?
Sure.
Okay, so you didn't regret it too much.
I mean, no, just because you regret it don't mean you just won't ever do it
don't
again.
Mean I don't believe fat meat greasy. I'm gonna learn.
I'm just saying that doesn't mean I was in my most intelligent state either, but
I get it.
Yeah, so is there still regret? Yeah, you drive home like, oh, why did I do that?
And then you gonna do it again? Do you regret after every act? Yes, every act you like, man, why I do it again?
For like
I'm gonna do it again. If really?
Yeah.
And every time you was, come on now, seriously, guys. And then you finally was like, okay, I don't want to regret no more, and I'm gonna stop. At what point did you realize you was tired of having this regretful feeling?
That's when you actually stop, and you.
How many times did you go through that experience before you finally was like, okay, I'm tired?
Like a long time. But what I'm saying is, at some point, when you hit that point where you just like, okay, I have to stop. If you can make yourself stop, then cool, you accomplished something.
You was able to stop.
Yeah.
After several times, cold turkey.
Yep. I'm gonna tell you this. The end of this past year, I cut off a lot of things. Like, not just sex, but I mean, just there's a lot of things in my life that I decided I'm going to change. And I was able to actually release so many things. And I'm grateful that I took that step.
That's good.
Because had I not, I don't think I would have been where I'm at today.
Right.
No.
I agree. I think that I know for me, after everything I had went through, I just realized like I'm just celibate because I just don't have time. I can't. I don't even look at sex the same no more. I don't even get aroused the same anymore because now I look at men differently. I'm not gay or into women. No disrespect to the LGBTQIA because I love y'all.
It's your choice.
But for me, I'm very hetero, but it's different now. And I guess because I was so hypersexual early on and even as an adult at some point in my life that it's like, why are you really doing this? And I guess when you know better, you do better. After the spiritual experience, it's like, no, I get it. I do want more because it's it's so temporary. It just doesn't fulfill me in a way that other things fulfill me. Unless we are truly bonded, and I know that this is my partner, and not only are we bonded physically, but we're bonded emotionally, mentally, and we're building something financially. We are truly in alignment, then absolutely, it's going to be wonderful. But outside of that, it's like, Well, now let's look at this foundation first. Before I get there, let me see what this looks like before I start to give you my goodies. My goodies,
did you do
right?
A dance with that?
My goodies. Yes, I did.
Okay.
And yes, I can be a born again virgin at 41. Absolutely.
Amen.
Yes.
Now speaking of that, okay,
my
so
husband.
speaking of
Not
that,
my husband, my husband.
what?
I said I'm saving it for my husband. I said husband, not my husband. My husband.
The
Husband. Not was the husband.
Okay.
Not him.
But check this out. Speaking of the Christianity thing, so some of us were brought up with the values of waiting to have sex until you're married.
Right.
Now, I see some value in that,
mm-hmm.
because if you allow yourself to build a foundation with someone, go through the regular motions of dating, getting to know somebody, right, courting, blah, 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 blah. If you go through those motions and you actually build a foundation, you build a connection,
mm-hmm,
and then there's the magic of sex. That can be a wonderful thing. If you do it with purpose, right, with intention.
Right. With purpose. But problem with that is we're not getting married anymore these days, it seems. Which is fine. I'm not, knocking anybody. And I don't expect that people are not gonna have sex. Although I do know some adults that are 30 plus that are virgins.
Oh, me too. I know some, yeah.
But even if you are not in a position to be married, still, I believe that having a true deep bond with somebody is important, plus the foundation itself, before we decide to even get physical.
Right.
Because I understand marriage is not going to always be in the cards for everybody, and some people are just not willing to wait, nor do they believe that they are going to find their forever partner. So,
I mean, to not believe you can find a partner is one thing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I won't say that I've ever believed that I wouldn't find the right partner.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if someone at least has hope to find someone, you give yourself the opportunity to find someone. And then people who don't have hope or don't believe, I think that's the person who most likely will not find a match.
That's
because
true.
For one, you don't even believe in it. How can you receive something you don't believe?
That's right.
In?
Universe won't give it because you're not open to receiving. Right. That's true. And even I think the first time I thought I was in love, the first time I think I experienced what I thought was love, it was puppy love. I was like, what's puppy love? Right. So that's what I think I first thought love was. It was just this feeling, the butterflies in the stomach, the Zazazoo feeling, like Carrie said on Sex and the City. It was that. It was this emotional high. And that's what love was. Yeah, that I didn't believe that BS either, because that was ridiculous. Some of the stuff they was doing was far-fetched. But that's what I thought that it was supposed to be. That's what love always was, these super highs. It was just to feel good. Oh, I love you, baby. Give me kisses and hearts, and and then the real world set in, reality kicked in, and realized
what that real world look like.
That no, love is not about the kissy. It is not all about the ups, because there will be some downs, but that's when you are really going to be tested in your love.
Yeah.
And that's how God be working. See, this is how spirit be testing us, soulmates.
But see, here's the thing though. I think that if you can develop the right love, right, you can get through some of those downs.
And you will.
Like they come so much easier, I believe.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like two sets of people can have the same disagreement.
Yeah, of course. It's an opportunity for growth. There's the opportunity now for us to grow as a couple, as individuals, when we're having this down moment.
Yeah. No, what I was saying is two different couples. Like say, this couple over here has the same type of issue as this couple, but because this couple knows how to communicate, this one gonna fall apart. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to respect each other. They don't know how to give each other space. There's a whole lot this couple over here don't know how to do that this couple has mastered early in their relationship. They built a foundation. They built connection. They became friends with each other. They love and respect each other unconditionally, so that when they do have disagreements, when they do have issues and problems, they know how to treat each other the right way to get through it.
Right.
That's love.
That's how love. You build a foundation, a solid foundation.
Right.
This is how you learn how to separate trauma bonding from true intimacy. Finding out and understanding who you're really with, who you're really connecting with. Because I believe that most of us believe anxiety is love. Meaning we can have butterflies in our stomach and we think that's, oh, I like him. Oh, that's love. Oh, I feel, oh, I want. Sis, that's anxiety. Okay. Pay attention to this. Right. That's anxiety. And I think a lot of us thought that meant something good, but it was really like the body was telling us no. Right. And we didn't understand. See? That's why I was saying we'd be so disconnected from the body be telling us, and then when we go through these emotional ups and downs, these highs and lows, and the inconsistencies, it becomes addictive. It becomes just a new normal, and hence here we go with the trauma bond, and now here we are with this toxic, chaotic situation.
And in the same way, intuition sometimes get disguised as fear.
Yes, it does.
Just because you feel something, that don't mean that's your intuition. Like you have to learn how to have not just intuition, but you need what's the word? Help me out with the word.
I'm not sure what the word is, but you need to understand your own body cues, and you need to understand when your body is telling you something doesn't feel safe versus when something does feel safe, when something actually does feel good.
No, I mean, you need to learn how to be aware of what you're looking at when you're dealing with somebody. You got to be able to know, like an innate ability to know this is the right type of person or it's not the right type of person, or don't just let your emotions build up and say, I really feel this is the right person. What
was the word? Did you say the word? I still don't know what your word was.
I didn't say it. What's the word? Oh Lord. What is it when you have a sense of
Okay, I don't know, but we're gonna let Gus we gonna think about that word.
Think about that word, and then
going back to
the show might be over by the time we come up with the word. But
right. But this again just goes back to what we were saying in the beginning. So when you're in these bonds and these relationships and these connections, before you start jumping into bed, connecting physically, let's build a different type of connection. Let's build the connection from the ground up. Let's make sure this root is grounded. Let's make sure our foundation is in order, starting with your root chakra. Let's make sure we're rooted and grounded. We are both on this same level playing field, this same foundation. We have the same understanding. We're on the same page. Before we get to moving up, let's start here. Before we get into the sacred, let's start with this root chakra.
Right. Discernment was a word, people.
Oh.
Yeah, discernment over butterflies.
Oh, okay. I had no idea that's the word you were trying to use.
That was it.
I see. Yes, your discernment. That comes with practice. That definitely comes with practice, I believe. Especially as you start to get mature, you get older, you start to experience different things. Your discernment, hopefully, will improve, or you will start to build a better level of discernment.
Right. And I think that takes a spiritual connection too, also. So where you can come outside of your own emotionalism, outside of your mind, and just connect to what God and Spirit is telling you, and get that information from above, get that download, let somebody tell you that.
Let Spirit move through you. Let Spirit guide you to your partner. Yeah, that's it. It's Spirit led for me.
Yeah.
Because,
let's be.
If I don't see the God in you, it's not for me. That's it. Let's be Spirit led from here on out. What if we could create spiritual bonds before those physical bonds? What would that look like?
It could be a beautiful thing.
And sex is a beautiful thing. Sex can actually be healing when it's coming from a place of self-respect, not self-repair. Because we know sexual healing is real.
Just don't
be with the right one.
Yeah, don't be dependent on it. Don't let it make or break you. You're not looking to have sex with somebody to make you feel adequate or anything like that.
Right. Not trying to fulfill your sexual addiction because you are trying to numb your other emotions and traumas, because that's another issue that some people experience. Some people have sexual addictions and don't even realize it's a sexual addiction.
And that person becomes their drug, basically. You don't respect your drug. You're just using it.
It's just a fix.
You're using
it's
your
just
drug,
a fix. So. And this is how a lot of us get so disconnected from our... First of all, I just think it is so beautiful that God gave us these sexual organs, because sex is a wonderful thing. But my gosh, can we do this right? Can we respect the act? Can we respect each other a little bit more to value that sacred act a little bit better than that? Plus my body, respect my body. First of all, right. I'm gonna respect that anyway. But it's like, think about that. And I'm even from my kings, because we know for the most part, men are typically more disconnected from their emotions when it comes to sex. But even still, you do deserve to respect your bodies as well. Be careful who you're sticking your stick in, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
Healing is when you no longer give your body hoping somebody else is going to fix the parts of you that you are still grieving, that you yourself can heal.
But
that's the trauma bond. That's when we start to lose ourselves. Mm-hmm. That's when we're using sex as an escapism.
As a tool. And it's
as a tool.
Yeah.
And this is when we start to equate it and put value on it. And it's like, oh, it's just something to make money. It's just something to ends me. I think that is so crazy how we thought that was funny to say, come get this $40.
Yeah.
That was like that was a big joke.
It really was. Yeah.
I'm like, I could not understand. I'm like, $40. $40. What's she gonna do with $40?
Wow.
Right? Like,
but that was so real though.
It was.
It was a joke, but it was real.
It was. Or like, set it off. I'm in a bind, Nate. Really, Nate?
Yeah.
Nate, if you was a man, help this sister out. Why she gotta open up her legs? What kind of man gotta pay for sex? That's why you need to be sure you having sex for the right reasons. If you buying and you paying for sex, then okay. I hope you happy. Because God didn't say we had to pay for sex. In fact, I don't think God wanted us to have to pay for sex. Right. I think God wanted us to have sex from a spiritual place of connecting with our partner, not trying to sell it to gain or to profit off somebody or to control somebody. We take something so beautiful as sex and just turn it into trash, like a lot of gods.
Yeah, I think maybe in another episode we should actually talk about the benefits of sex physically, spiritually. Like, what is the actual intention outside of procreation? But what are the benefits that we can potentially get from a healthy sexual relationship? Like, physically, what does it do for the body? Mm-hmm. Let's do it. Let's do that.
We're going to do that, soulmates. We're going to talk about the physical, emotional, mental, all of the positive benefits, because there are several.
Right.
With the right ones, not with the wrong ones.
We're going to say what it do.
That's right. That is what it is. So, soulmates, if you've been listening, enjoying the show, and you felt like you have been given more than you've received, and if your body is remembering before your mouth could actually speak, then please know, soulmates, you're not alone. This is why we are healing out loud, speaking this, making it make sense. And I don't want you to judge yourself or to feel less than. You're not broken. You're just like half of the world. Right. You're starting to unlearn. And that's okay. You're wonderful just the way you are, and how grateful that now you can unlearn that, and maybe you can start to rethink the way you do your sex. Redo your sex. You heard I said do your sex. Like, just do sex in general. Right. Or your sex, their sex, whomever sex. Just rethink it. Just rethink it. What if we could just have sex from a... I just truly feel like if you're spiritually in alignment with somebody and you have all of them boxes checked and you can have that physical exchange, that is dope. That is something out of this world. It's on a whole nother planet. That's how I feel like it is. I just truly believe if it's that much in alignment. I haven't experienced this yet, but it's coming.
Let it be the icing on the cake.
That part.
But let the cake be good though, you know? Yeah.
No pun intended.
I mean,
no, I'm joking. But before we close out, soulmates, I do want to leave you out with this. I want you to think about the last time you said yes with your body, but not with your soul. What were you hoping it would fix? And what did it actually cost you? Feel free to share in the chat if you want to.
Please do.
You can message whatever you want to do, or just sit with the question and actually sit and ask yourself. There's no right nor wrong answer, but just be honest with yourself.
And if you guys are really interested in our content and you enjoy what we're doing, share it with your friends.
Soulmates.
Like, subscribe. Don't just call. Some of y'all are like calling me.
Just said stop calling him.
Yeah, don't just call me. You can call me, but also get in the comments. Leave us comments. Ask us questions. Engage with us.
Engage in the comments. We like when you engage on the interwebs, family.
Please
don't be shy. Everybody got Facebook. We know y'all know how to use the internet a little bit better now. So
right.
Come on, soulmates. Don't be shy. We're creating a safe space. There's nothing you can say or do. There's really nothing you can say that's going to hurt me. You can't do anything either. But there's no right nor wrong answer. I just want us to start to unpack these things.
Right. And it's all about our healing. Like, that's what we're here for, to help you to become greater versions of yourself.
That's it.
We're here to have positive influence on our culture. And we just want to see us grow collectively as a collective. So this is what it's all about.
We are. And soulmates, if you're ready to rise, if you're ready to grow spiritually, emotionally, financially, then I invite you to go deeper with me. Continue to follow the show. I do have some one-on-one private sessions available. So for those that are interested in breaking those emotional, financial cycles, reclaiming clarity, rebuilding with intention, then please reach out. And you can also grab a copy of my book, Healing Out Loud, which is my personal journey through loss, depression, and rebirth. But it's not just my story, soulmates. It's a mirror and a map for your own transformation. Because remember, soulmates, you don't have to navigate any of this alone. You don't have to keep pretending you're okay while you're quietly unraveling. There is power in your truth. There is power in your voice. There's peace on the other side of whatever it is that you need to release. So let us rise and do it together, soulmates.
Until next time.
Night, soulmates. Making it make sense. And we just did
another one.
Bam. Bye. I'm not going to do tomorrow. I'm not going to do it because I know you waiting on me to do the thing.
Right.
I'm not. I ain't doing it. Nope. Just because you waiting on me to do it. Hey, soulmate. Oh, shit. You drinking water. Sorry.
Hold on.
Pause.
I'm like, oh, soulmate.
All right. Go ahead. Do it again. Start from scratch. Make it make sense. All right. Hey.
We have bloopers today.
All right. Let's get it.